I am Yolanda Mitchell. I am the CEO and founder of NBQ Magazine, which is Nubian Queen Magazine. And I am here to interview our very own Miss Jewel Tankard. How are you today, Miss Jewel?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. This is an honor and a pleasure. And I'm so grateful that you said yes to this interview. And I'm glad that you said yes. I'm going to go ahead and read your bio to everyone so they will have a better and a general idea of who we're talking to and what you're about. So Miss Jewel Tankard is committed to helping women create wealth. Jewel, it creates the Millionaire Club in the Pink Hard Hat Real Estate Investment Club with over 400 members across 10 countries. The club empowers women to trust their financial gut, improves their confidence, gives them cash creation and wealth growing strategies, and introduces them to modern investment tools. Jewel was thrusted into mainstream media as the matriarch of Bravo's hit reality show, Thicker Than Water. The Tankard's end is a current star in AT&T's Chatter, making her a superstar in both the business and entertainment industries. The wife of gospel jazz legend Ben Tankard, Jewel also pastors the Destiny Center alongside her husband in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and has 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. She most recently released the book, The Mind of Millionaires, sold in Barnes and Noble and Amazon. Oh my goodness, what an accomplishment. That is such a beautiful thing. I love this her book. So I have to tell you that I was listening to some of your book because I went and got it on Audible. And as I was listening, yes, ma'am, and I was listening to this book, and I said, she is so authentic, so real, just so, brilliant. Your mind frame is just awesome. I mean, I was just not blown away. I was not blown away, but my mind was like, had expanded. I could feel my mind begin to just think like it was more than just, the book, more than just words. It really ministered. So I know that more women definitely need to see this because I know that you're, kind of geared towards women, especially like single women. And I listened to a lot of that, as you began to minister. That's what I said, minister, in this book. And I would say this before I get started, the lady that you have for your Audible that reads, she's awesome.
She's awesome.
She does an awesome job. I was like, I can listen to her all day. It really push the words out. It really pushes the book. It really, I don't know, she's anointed. And the words just really penetrated. I mean, it was just awesome. I said, this woman here, I don't know if you call it mind blowing. I don't know if you call it mind blowing, but I felt my mind begin to expand.
Your brain was snapping.
The brain snap. What you call it?
A brain snap.
I'm gonna use that. I gotta write that one down. But that, I mean, that brain snap. I mean, it was just like that. My mind began to just think differently. I mean, just to know, it gave me a way of thinking the way that you think as well as a millionaire, and that's like a beautiful word, a good way of calling it. Say like instead, we call it millionaires, billionaires, but you said millionaire, so it has that kind of feminine touch to it. So I was like, honey, she's the queen for this. I mean, you are called for this, and it's going to resonate with a lot of women. It's going to help them to be able to think. And then I was listening to your story as you were talking about where you come from and how you didn't have to work and things of that nature, and then you found yourself having to work and then having to have this mind frame and what you've learned from your parents and what they did and what happened during that journey. I was like, wow, that is so profound. And that's what kickstarted you to want to, really minister to women, especially to single women, and to get them on track. So it's phenomenal because we all think that, that everybody who's a millionaire was fed with a silver spoon. They had it all together, but not knowing at some point in your life you had a downfall. So that right there just really, blessed my soul. So I want to ask you the question. So you was talking about the difference between rich and poor. And you said, the thing about the difference is the information. Can you tell us what information that we are actually missing?
So, I think, we all grow up, seeing particular patterns, economic patterns of, oh, wait, we got to wait till Friday to go get those shoes, or next Monday we can do this. So, already the information that's being fed to us, even as children, for most people, is that I'm finding out that money is something that is not readily available. It's scarce. It's something I have to wait for. It can't be, and also it has to be either or.
Right.
So this is how we start growing up, and then one day you realize, no, there's no shortage of money on the earth.
Woo.
And then you start trying to figure out, well, where is the money? Because it's not me. And so a lot of times people start resenting rich people because they like, you took my money, or
right.
Government because you took my money, but really nobody took your money. You just don't know enough information. And if you get more information, you can have pretty much anything that you set your heart to have if you're willing to seek the information and then implement the information. And so what I found most of the time culturally in our race is that we, most of us love Jesus, which is amazing. Right. And we learn about him as far as salvation. Right. We don't necessarily ever get to know him as a fulfiller of dreams or a provider because we stop at salvation. And then we take on a mentality of it's hard, which is originally slavery, as long as I got a roof over my head and food on my table. So we're kind of thinking like, I don't need all of that. And as long as I can just get by the week. So there's this whole get by mentality. There's not a mentality of thriving or flourishing or I'm happy or I'm winning. And so we have to adopt that kind of mindset and realize it doesn't always have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. We don't have to fight the devil. We've whooped the devil. Jesus already whooped him. So we don't have to keep fighting him. Now what we have to do is go out and win and thrive so that people can look at our lives and be attracted, not to necessarily just what we say, but how we live.
Come on. That is powerful. It reminds me of, it has a kind of negative tone to when they say money is the root of all evil. It makes me think that when people think of money is the root of all evil, they make it seem as if, it's a bad thing or it's wrong or wrong to be rich and wrong to have money. And they talking about all these prosperity preachers and, so they give off the wrong information. They make it seem like, you have to struggle and it's okay to be barely making it. Wait a minute. If my daddy is on the cattle 1,000 hill, why I got to be broke? If my daddy owned the entire world, why do I have to struggle? Where do you get that mentality from? So this here book right here is definitely going to reach to the heavens. It's really going to help other women have that brain snap. I'm talking about this, where their mind is going to begin to expand and think. And you also yourself, you think outside the box. Like your mind is not just, I'm just going to help my family. I'm just going to help my loved ones and the people in my immediate family. Your mind goes so far out. You say, I want to help the nation. I want to help the world. I want to help single women. I want to give cars. Matter of fact, I want to start giving out houses. And that's the way, we should think. And then, when you start thinking like that, you start realizing that you got to have a lot of money to be able to do that. You have to, and how are you going to, and it drives you to make you want to do more, because it's more than just you. It gives off a bigger picture. And that's the fuel. And so that's what I'm talking for myself. So what is the fuel that you have used to get you to that place where you think the way you think? Like what charged you? What made you say, I want to be able to do more? I mean, what was inside of you that resonated to give you that fire, that fuel to want to do more, especially for single women?
Yeah, I think, just realizing it's a lot out here.
Right.
Just settle for the crumbs, I don't have to just be waiting for the crumbs to fall down off of the table of the rich that I can be the rich. And I think, I was blessed because growing up, my parents, we lived very well. And then we lost everything when I was 19. And I think, having had and then lost was devastating. and you realize what's possible, which is why you hear a lot of
Come on.
millionaires, they file bankrupt 5 times, but they're wealthy again, because
Come on.
once you taste it to see that I don't have to drive, you know, a used car, or I actually buy my vehicles pre-owned, but I'll say a broke down car, but they're really nice.
Right.
You know, they're
Right.
because it makes better sense financially. But when you realize that I don't have to stay in this apartment, that I don't have to live in Section 8, that I don't have to wait for somebody to take care of me. And I just, you know, when that happened with my dad, I just was like, I didn't want to have to wait for a man to take care of me. I started dating drug dealers.
Right.
They seemingly took care of me for a while, but it's like, that was illegal. So that went crazy, of course, indicted, and, you know, started getting indicted and dying. And then I was like, I don't want to have to sit down and wait for him. You know, I don't want to wait for anybody. For my daddy, I don't have to wait for a boyfriend. I don't even have to wait for my husband. You know, I don't like to be told no, and I don't like to wait. If I want it, I want it, and I'm gonna go get it. And I think that I want women to allow that fire to be ignited in them. Because a lot of times women say things like, I'll ask my husband, I'll see what he says. I want this, but I have to see what he says. There's a lot of that. I think it's ridiculous, because God gave you a brain. He gave you an anointing. He gave you gifts. And so the 31 woman did not wait for a husband. She was a businesswoman. She was doing deals, transacting. She wasn't sitting around waiting for him to make $1 million to live her dream. She lived her dream because she realized God empowered her to. So my fuel is because I don't like to wait.
Right. I know that's the truth. And you talked about the gut, like, you know, God is like with your mom, and you're saying the same thing with women. Like, you have to, whatever's in your gut and whatever your gut is saying, you got to follow that. Like, you can't just ignore it and push it to the side because that's how mama, them did it. That's how they did it back in the days. You know, no, this is a whole new, you have to keep up with the time. I know this is what you said in your book, keep up with the time. So I'm telling you, like, this book is going to bless people, because you was like, okay, so if you did not do this years ago, you just getting started in investments and things like that, is fine, because you can start now, because things have changed. So how they did it years ago is not the same thing that's going on right now. And so that right there was powerful for me. I was like, okay, like there was another brain snap. that was yes, ma'am. So you added, so you like to add to people. Can you tell us some of the things that you do to add value to people, especially women?
Yeah, I mean, I think just women realizing, you know, you're beautiful, just like you, you're a boss. You went, you started this magazine, you know, you reached out to me, and I'm sure you're doing other things to, you know, grow and develop the magazine and make sure it's relevant, you know, tweaking it here and asking questions. And so I just want women to know, you know, you got a lot of value, more value than what you realize. And if you make up in your mind that you don't want to do it, you have that Tina Turner moment. She's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I want a lot of women to wake up and say, I'm not doing this anymore. And I don't mean walking away from their husband like she did. She needed to. He was abusive. But I mean waking up and saying, I'm not, you know, living check to check anymore. I'm not waiting until next year to go on vacation. I'm not waiting for a day off. I'm going to live a life that you know, I'm inspired. Like, I inspire myself. I'm not waiting for a day off, because I'm living on purpose. If I need to rest, I rest. If I want to get up and go somewhere, I do it. If I want to travel somewhere, I do it. I want women to be able to live, because men don't ask permission when they want things. They go do it. Rightfully so. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. They should do that, right?
Come on.
And I don't even want I don't want men to start asking their wives for silly questions of things that they can do. You don't need her permission. You didn't marry your mama. This is your wife. You got a brain. And I think you weaken a man when you say, oh, he got to ask me. Why? And you weaken a woman if she has to ask her husband for a pair of shoes. That weakens her. It weakens her. And I don't think people realize, like, every time you give somebody authority and power, that God, that you become weaker.
Come on. Woo.
And when you take it, and when you walk in it, you become stronger. Every time I say I like that and I buy it, I become stronger.
Come on.
Because I'm starting to realize my potential. I wanted to give away a couple cars to single women this year, and I gave away one to I don't even know her yet. We do the giveaway on the 18th in Detroit, and I go to the car lot and I have a budget, and I see cars sitting next to each other. One was an Impala and one was a Lincoln.
Come
and
on.
The Impala was perfect for the budget, but the Lincoln was like, you need to raise the bar and get this girl this. You know that, man. You need to get this girl this Lincoln, right?
Wow.
Like, it was double my budget. I'm like,
come on.
Wow. I'm like, Laura's like, are you gonna stretch?
Come on.
I've been about stretching. You've been talking to everybody else about stretching. Are you going to
stretching? Right.
I say, yes, Lord. And so I bought it, because I knew I would have left that lot with that Impala. I would have been grieved in my heart because it wasn't what God wanted. He was trying to stretch me. And he didn't tell me that he was about to stretch me in that moment. It happened at that moment. He said, you're going to walk in this. There's an anointing and there's money there for you to do it. And I'm going to give you even more. So you don't have to worry about that. All I need you to do is obey.
Right. And that's do you think this?
Huh?
Go ahead. What are you saying?
Then I bought a Lexus for a woman here, and my baby, my baby needs a car. Our 18-year-old granddaughter, she just had a baby, and I'm helping her, a teenage mom, and so. And somebody said, well, you got the single women you don't know nicer cars. I'm like, well, I work with her. I'm mentoring her. So I'm teaching her how to work for hers.
Come on. Come on.
Like, Nina, you got that Lexus out there for a single parent. I'm a single parent. I said, that ain't for you. I said, because I expect more from you. You gotta manifest. These ones here, I don't know. You gotta manifest. So you don't get quite, but really you're getting more than them. Because you're not in the car, you learn how to produce all kinds of cars, whatever kind of car, and whatever kind of mansion, and whatever kind of man you want. So you get more.
So I'm not going to just give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to go and get the fish.
I got to teach you.
Come on, for life.
For life.
For life. So you would never.
Life. You can manifest whatever you want to manifest. You get your mind right.
Lord. You are absolutely phenomenal. Like I love the way you think. So I know you are in investments. What are some of the investments that you are actually in? If you were to be inviting someone, I think it's Forex. I believe that's something that you're in. So what are some of the investments that you're in, or some of the tools that you use to get people more into investments? Because you have some people that say, oh, I have to have this amount of money. I don't know how to add and subtract. I wasn't good in school. So what are some of the things and tools that you use to encourage more people to get into investments?
Well, Yolanda, that's why I started the Millionaires Club, because I wanted to create a platform of education for women to learn short and long-term wealth strategies. I knew that I can tell you, oh, you need to invest in this, but it's much more than that, because most women, tell them invest in something, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to say, let me talk to my husband. And if he doesn't know anything, he says no, and then she ends up doing nothing. So I encourage them to join the club so that they can learn overall. And then, like at the beginning of the year, we're going to be reading the book for 3. I'm giving them not just the book, but my brain, my challenges, my tests, my vulnerabilities, insecurities, all that. And then, of course, most people know the success, but I want people to know that the process in which to get to some of these things was not easy. So you start talking about investing. My favorite investments would be cryptocurrency, teaching people how to trade foreign currency and binary options. And we have an entire educational platform that works really closely with people. They can self-pace. 15 to 30 minutes a day is what I tell people to learn, so that they can create all the cash flow that they ever dreamed about.
Wow. Yeah. So that's good. So before you even get to that point, so I'm just going to minister to you, just get you to a place where you just start thinking differently. So let's get to that part. So it's almost like breaking through the old patterns or old way of thinking, and get them to thinking differently. And then now I can download, now I can impart, now I can give you some of my way of thinking, and get you to that place. I'm kind of, getting you to a place where you can think differently, think higher of yourself. Also, it's a form of ministry too. It's breaking through that. And it's like I said, generational curses, in the family and the bloodline. And it's like a blockage there where you can't see beyond where you are, because that's you're seeing that, like many people in your family have been successful and made it out, and you just feel like, okay, this is mine because I've had struggles and things like that. You say, girl, guess what? I had struggles too. Just imagine how devastating that was for me. I didn't commit suicide. I didn't have a nervous breakdown. I just realized what I would have done differently, from seeing my parents not investing or doing something different. And that just charged me to want to do something different, so that when I get in and I get to a place that we won't have to look back and regret it. We have something that keeps us driving and keep us going. So that is, I love that. That is absolutely, phenomenal. So how did we get into the Millionaires Club?
JewelTankard.com. They can get on JewelTankard.com is my website. They can go there and sign up for the club if they want more specific information about investing in crypto and foreign exchange. We'll also reach out to them within the next 72 hours to help people get started. And then all my social media, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram is all Jewel Tankard.
Come on, my goodness.
Everything's Jewel Tankard, yeah.
You're absolutely phenomenal. So you have mentors, and you talked about mentors, and you have them, so how many mentors do you have?
So I have about 4 really strong mentors that I follow pretty closely. Yeah. Okay. So they're all wealthier than me.
Come on. That's the key.
Yeah, they're all wealthier than me. And so I listen to what they have to say. And it's worked. It's made me multiple millions of dollars because of that mentorship. I'm very grateful for my mentors. Very grateful. I tell anybody, if you really want to grow, you got to have a mentor. You can't take yourself to the next level. If you could, you would have done it by now. If you could have taken yourself to the next level, you would have did it by now.
You would have did it by now.
You would have did it.
And you said that wealthy, so your mentors are where you're trying to get to. Because they've been and they can be a help to you. So that's good. So is a mentor, is it like a coach, or is it different than a coach?
Because they're really the same. I think they're really the same.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're really the same. I think it's coach and mentor are definitely, I think, in the same category.
Wow. Okay, so about your book, let's go. I want to go back to the millionaires. I got to go back to this so beautiful book.
Thank you.
What are some of the things that kickstart you to, writing this book? Or what are some of the things that's inside of this book that we're going to get a chance to read, that we're going to get, it's going to, what is some, okay, let me tell you, let me ask this, maybe the chapter. Can you give me a chapter or something in your book that you really love inside of that book?
Yeah, I got a lot of favorite parts. Stretch, grow, go, entering the trust zone. I love that part because sometimes we want things that we don't realize, you're going to have to change for this.
Come on.
It's going to require you to change.
Right.
And sometimes we're creatures of habits. We don't always want to change.
Right.
This is going to have to require you to die to yourself and die to what you think.
Right.
So many people, I talk to them about investing and they say, let me think about it. I'm like, you don't know enough to think.
Right.
Thinking and allow somebody to think for you.
Right.
So you can learn how they think.
Right.
Some stuff is like cliche. Let me pray about it. You've been praying. Like,
yes, ma'am.
At this point, you should have a witness in your heart.
Right.
Like, you should have a witness. It shouldn't be like you've already been praying every day. You've been praying
already.
And you know what? Because increase, just like good health, it takes a strategy. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people that love Jesus and are broke. I know a lot of people that love Jesus and are sick. Because if I don't change my diet and change the strategy, I'm still not going to feel good. It doesn't mean that Jesus is not a healer, but he also gives me a strategy to how to maintain it. You can't keep eating those ham hocks and pound cake and think you're not supposed to have high blood pressure or high sugar. That comes with sugar. So that means he wants to heal your body, but he's also going to say, get off the sugar. Change the way you cook. But I like that. I know you like it, but it's killing you. So I think everything is going to require change and stretching and then growing and then getting to a point where you trust your instinct more than you trust your analytics. Many times I've made moves in business, not because I knew everything. It was just that I trusted my instinct and I trusted the mentor that was leading me there, and I just followed.
My God. And you
said, follow the leader.
Come on.
That's all wealthy is. All becoming wealthy is just a big game of follow the leader.
Come on. Wow. And when you talked about people, I know you said in your book, people, they don't fear success. They fear failure. And what are some of the things that you think that in the failure part, what do you think that they fear? Like when you're talking about success and you say, okay, you don't fear success. People don't fear success. They fear failure. They fear failing. What are some of the things you think that are keeping people back when it comes down to failure? They're fearing what part of that are they fearful of? Now,
sometimes it could be fear of the work that's going to be required. Sometimes it's going to be fear of the responsibility. I mean, we've been blessed with a beautiful 13,000 square foot mansion. I've had people come in here and say, "Woo, I wouldn't want that. That's too much."
Come on.
Because you fear the responsibility. You like the results, but you don't want the responsibility.
Right.
Or maybe you like the results, but you don't want to have the discipline to keep it clean.
That's it.
But I still wipe down counters. I still put a new toilet tissue roll on there. I'm grateful for my housekeeper. I'm grateful for my help. My personal assistant helps me a lot. But there's still things I have to do if I want to look like a magazine cover.
Right. Woo!
So I think that you just have to know that, it is going to take work. But to me, I'd rather do that and live my dream than sit on the couch and watch Netflix and watch somebody else's dream.
Wow.
Because when we go to concerts to see Beyonce or watch a good show, check out Kevin Hart's True Story. My husband, Ben Tankard, is playing.
Oh, I love it.
Netflix. But it's a lot custom, but it is a good show.
It is.
But anyway, you pay to go see Kevin Hart because these people work a lot. Beyonce
a lot.
Tons of hours. The Kardashians invest a lot in their self-care and their waistline and what they eat. So people a lot of times hate on successful people, but I'm like, these people's work ethic is next level. They didn't get to where you're paying to watch Beyonce in concert and you're like, oh my gosh, she is an amazing dancer. She is, but she practices 10 hours a day. 10. And then she eats really good. And then she drinks tons of water. And then she goes to the spa to get facials. And then she has a masseuse come to her house and give her massages. She didn't just wake up that way. That was a lot of discipline in her eating and her drinking and her thinking and what she did with her time. So a lot of times when people are like, I'm ready to go to the next level, but I'm afraid, it's just afraid of all the changes that they're going to have to make. But I'd rather make those changes than stay the same.
Come on. Now you have answered all my other questions I had. You answered that in a nutshell. I mean, I wouldn't call it even a nutshell. I mean, you just answered it. So like, I'm telling you that
I need to get the book.
They got to get the book. They don't have to.
And join the Millionaires Club because January 1st, that week in January, we're diving into this book. 3 months, I'm cracking this thing open and we're gonna have some real life conversation. I'm dealing with women who make more money than their husbands, how to handle that, how to handle a husband's insecurity, how to build your husband to be a king while you to develop. Like, we're gonna deal with that, the amount of hours that you have to work and then still being a mom, not overcoming mommy guilt, getting your family involved in your business.
Come on.
Making them a part of it so that they don't feel like it's something that they're competing with. Because when your children are younger, they want all your time, but when they're older, they want all your money. And if you do the right thing with your time, you won't be able to give them the money.
Come on.
And so you have to learn quality of time versus quantity. I have a guy on my team. He said, you know, you grew up in Section 8. He said they ate cereal for breakfast, dinner. He said it was crazy. He said my mom prided herself in staying home with me. He said, but I would rather she left me at home by myself and went and worked where we had a better quality of life, because the quality of life sucked.
My God.
So yeah, I want you guys to grab the book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. All of it is Jewel Tankard. And join the club. Get on jeweltankard.com. Yolanda, I want to thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate it. And hopefully you'll be in the club, child.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I am going to join the club. And thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And I know we gotta go, but we are not going to miss each other, because you're going to see more of me. Thank you for your time. God bless you, and take care of yourself. Bye.
Like, share, subscribe, and press the bell button.